Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good day, good everything. Can you hear me?
See? I'm gonna mute me.
Welcome to the spotlight on May Their Memory Be a Blessing. And if you are joining, please say hi and where you're from. And
Leslie Williams says hi.
hi, Leslie Williams. Yeah, so we've done a lot. I hope the handouts have been good, the little journaling prompts. And we'll talk about those in a minute. And we'll wait for people to come on. Meanwhile, happy Valentine's Day. And look what I've got.
Oh my goodness.
Say hello. Nothing like puppy hair on lip gloss. Puppy hair on lip gloss.
It's so pretty.
I know. I know. I have to tell you that I think I did tell you. I was doing on Tuesday and Thursday, in addition to hiking, I do this little circuit training. I'm a weenie. I'm not like some... Anyway, someone came running over and pierced my ear. You've never seen so much blood. So much blood. And this morning, there has just been an abundance of poop. So I've been trying not to cuss. You missed energy healing for animals yesterday. We talked before we did our scalar. We talked at length about cussing animal communicators. Anyway.
Yeah, I have my hand up too, yes.
Yes. All right. So if you're just coming on, how can I move this so that there? Now we can see the full puppy.
Thank you for fixing her ear.
And I'm going to need to get a toy because we do not, Oh, no, we don't. No. Okay. You need a toy. Where's the toy? Yeah, go get a toy. Good girl.
Okay, while she go gets her toy, Leslie Williams says the handouts are great.
Oh, good.
She says gorgeous about Little Miss Elsa. Oh, there's Penelope.
And here's Penelope. This is
Joy
your...
Leggett says hi.
Hello. Nope.
Claudia, your cousin, says,
Yes.
Morning, everyone. Loved working through the handouts.
Oh, good. Good.
Heather Barkle. Hi, Heather. Lovely morning to all from Clyde, Oregon. Happy birthday.
Happy Valentine's Day from me and Penelope.
She's got the crazy face. Barbara Spalding says, hi, cutest little puppy and Joan.
Hello. Okay. Nope. We're gonna... Okay. Everybody's gonna get off. And you're not gonna eat the chair. Nope. We're gonna find a toy. All right. Here's the puppy.
Oh my God.
This is Elsa. If you're new, this is Elsa. Okay. All right.
Okay, it's crazy. She looks like Penelope. Like,
And Abby. I mean, because she's got the, maybe not the big head, but a different nose than this one.
yeah.
You have a little bit of Delilah's nose. Anyway, if you're new to me, my name is Joan Ranquet. I'm an animal communicator, author, TEDx speaker, founder of Communication with All Life University. We've been around for about 16 years this year. I've been teaching for 27 years, which is bizarre. And we have programs to learn animal communication at all levels, to learn energy healing at all levels, and we have trips to nature and wildlife. and sacred sites. We did, a couple of years ago, we did all the temples in India and tigers. So, and we've got some really cool trips coming up. We've got the dolphin trip, and we've got, do we have any spots left on, we almost don't, we have like 1 or 2 spots left on the dolphin trip, and then we have a couple spots on the
2 or 3 left on the
Tula Tula.
Tula Tula.
And then we'll be announcing the next trips, but I'm trying to close the gap here on these 2 before we give you the full spectrum, because it's big. Anyway, so here we are in the spotlight. May their memory be a blessing. And I just wanted to remind people, next weekend we have the Animals in Transition, Death, Dying, and Beyond immersive. So if this has been a good journey for you, you might want to get on a call with our Claudia, or my cousin Claudia, but our Claudia can help you see if it's a fit for you. Even if you haven't had any animal communication experience, we've got a bonus of the intro class, which is that, isn't it that? It's next Wednesday, yeah. So you could jump in, take an animal communication class, join us, and connect with your beloved. It's a really intimate and wonderful class. It's very teeny, so we have room. And even if we had 100 people, we make it very intimate. And so I hope you'll join us. And I think links are going in, and phone, yes, no, links and stuff. And then we're still have enrollment. Enrollment's about to close for the spring intensive, where we do animal communication for 3 days, 3 days of EFT tapping, and 3 days of animal communication in sanctuaries. And speaking of the EFT, that's something we've been doing a lot of here with, and this is the book I wrote on the subject. And it's really a very, very powerful tool to help us move through a lot of our big feelings. And so I posed a question when I first came on, and a lot of you were just coming on. First of all, if you're coming on, say hi and where you're from. And then also, what has struck you with the handouts? Because those I'm a journaler, you know. I've been it's funny, this morning when I went to go turn my horses out, I thought, and I'd been working on my chakra book, I was like, wow, I kind of am doing exactly what I pictured at 7. Just writing and writing. But it's too muddy to ride today. But it's like, you know, I'm a journaler. I've been keeping a journal since I was about 7 years old. And, you know, some of the entries in my diary were pretty boring, like I went on a bike ride. But, you know, I have been consistently writing since a young age. And as tragedies have come up in my life, it's been a real tool for me to be able to release through the pages. And sometimes we can't even, I love to say that and if you see yourself moving, Claudia keeps getting further away, it's because there's a puppy chewing on the bottom of the, she's on a thing, and it's the puppies chewing on the bottom. Anyway, journaling has been a very important thing for me, and I love to say that the definition of overwhelm, which is how we can often feel, is that it's like too many, you know how a drain goes like this and it goes down? It's like too many feelings in there that aren't able to, like, we're not able to identify what the specific feelings are. So it becomes like this crazy circling the drain, but I'm feeling all these things, but I don't know what they are. So journaling and a lot of the, stop, that's a no. a lot of the feelings we're able to express becomes a way then for us to really look at, oh, either I'm still deeply in grief, or I've come a long way, or, you know, just it's a way to really, really examine how we feel and nope, leave it. Move through, move with, be with all of these feelings. Because when we're avoiding feelings, they just sort of get bigger and bigger and they become the monster. But when we're in it with our feelings, then we're able to, you know, you kind of can only cry for so long, right? I don't know. I once had this terrible situation, and this gal suggested that I just spend a weekend grieving. She said, you're going to get bored, but just try it. And I I went up into my bedroom and I just sat there and I was going to cry. And I cried for about a minute and I was like, I'm hungry. You know what I mean? Like, we have so many feelings in a day, but we avoid these big feelings. And then they just get bigger. So when we're able to move into it, and then that's why I love like the spotlight, you know, the purpose is we kind of come together, we move through our feelings. We understand that grief is going to be a part of life, but it's also, doesn't have to take us down. It can live with joy, but we have to move with it, not through it so much, but with it to get there. So I love being with all of you in this setting. So has anybody typed anything in?
Yes, so I'm putting the links in for everything. I'm looking okay, April Adams says good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Debbie Marcellus says good morning.
Good morning.
Julie Gordon says good evening from the UK.
Good evening. Good evening.
April Adams says she's in Salt Lake City.
Ah.
And Shiloh says good morning. Good morning, Shiloh.
Good morning. From Quartzsite.
Yes.
So, what's going on over there? That was a big yawn. So has there been anything that stood out or come through? I know some of you are going to be shy and maybe not type it in. I just inhaled my coffee.
Oh, that's good.
And I don't have any water to chase it down. I just have more coffee to chase it down.
Sorry.
Anyway.
There's a comment from Claudia.
Mm-hmm.
She said, working through the handouts brought back so many more memories.
Oh, that's good. And, you know, I mean, especially if we've gone through a big process of, you know, our animals gotten older and dwindled and died, or even the shock of, oh, there was an accident, it was a tragic end. We tend to, for a while, remember just the end. And so these handouts are meant for us to remember. I know that, and that's the beauty of an animal communication session also, like, because especially the way that I teach animals in transition, we're doing exactly the basics that you guys are doing in these worksheets, and also how we would do any animal communication. It's understanding their essence and their favorite things, who they are in the world, how they present, what they love to do, and all of those things. When when someone does a reading in class for me on a horse that's been gone for a long time, they'll come up with quirky little things about the essence and their favorite things to do that make me go, oh, there's that horse, or there's that dog, or there's that cat. Because our memory, we kind of focus on one or two things. So it's really, really good to play in this arena and to pull up who they are.
Yeah, that's so. Christine Daigle Cole commented on the tapping the other day.
Oh, good. Yes.
She said, "I'm grateful for the tapping on the first date. It opened up a larger pocket of grief I didn't realize I was holding on to. Thank you."
You're welcome. Thank you. But as we reflect upon these handouts and the things we've written down, or the things, maybe we don't even write it down, but at least we read it and go, oh, this is what I'm feeling, or oh, this is who they were. And you might be shy and not type it in, but let's just take a moment and see how far we've come in the last couple of days with it. I know for me, I've had the weirdest thing. As this puppy is here, I'm of course reminded of her being a puppy just 5 years ago, and 8 years Abby being a puppy, and then who was here guiding that, right? So I keep calling Abby Isabella, and Val just looked at me like I was high on crack yesterday. I was like calling Penelope Delilah. But each of them are really embodying. It's like my animals are really showing up for me this week because we're doing this. And so they've been showing up in ways that have been, Delilah was no question the hall monitor when it came to who can play. And Penelope was doing that yesterday when Val brought her sister over. So it was Daisy and Elsa in a playpen, and Penelope was trying to monitor it. And I just kept saying, Delilah, leave it. So Penelope kept barking. So it was, and Val was just looking at me. She's like, Delilah's not here. I'm like, oh my God. Yeah. And so it doesn't have to always be tragic, right? It can be hilarious, like that sort of moment. Or my horse Raleigh, for the first year after he died, I would look down and there'd be a heart rock. Like a lot of them are in the house or at the door because I moved 3 months after he died. So I even found the heart rocks down here, which then made it more like, yeah, he's not in Carnation, Seattle, Washington area. He's in my heart, and he's showing me hearts everywhere I go. So it was, there's all sorts of ways that we get to be reminded. Is anybody, okay, good.
So April Adams says, I've ordered the EFT book. I want to get into it more. I have used it on myself for years and love it. Nancy Bishop says she feels lighter, maybe.
Yeah.
April Adams says, April has a question. She says, so when you're calling the names of animals that have passed, does that mean those spirits are present?
In this case, absolutely. Like, Abby is embodying something that Isabella had, which is a real nurturing overseer. And it's not the Abby that we picture. I mean, Abby chest bumps other dogs, right? Like, she's got head injuries like a football player. She brings coyotes home. She has a gibbon friend down the street at the Gibbon Center. She has a cow friend at the Gentle Barn. Like, she's global. And all of a sudden to see her, like, the other day, Penelope snapped at the puppy for getting her bone. The puppy went off kind of like, oh. Abby found the other bone and put it in front of the puppy for her to chew. Like, who is that? And those were all things I would have attached to Isabella. And so I feel like Isabella's coming through. And Isabella taught Abby a lot. They were together for the first 6 months of Abby's life.
And I know, I called Abby the other day, I called her the nanny.
Yeah, she's become the nanny.
She was nannying the puppies.
Which is new job, believe me. Like, she
yeah.
won't leave. When the puppies are in the playpen here, when Val comes over, Abby's like front row and center. And then she'll sneak in and get the favorite toy. Like, yep, y'all are stupid. You're a little slow. I got the squirrel. Anyway.
Okay, so Shiloh says, even after 3 years of Dream passing, I still call Suki Dream, and I call her Keisha and Taluk.
Yeah, I think it's normal.
Yeah. Claudia says, not as much guilt over making the decision to end Chicken's life on January 25th.
Chicken. Yeah. Good. I mean, I think that I think a lot of times we're acting with and for them, right? Like, it seems like we're acting for them, but they may have been asking for it. I mean, I think, you know, there's so many decisions we make, or so many things we think that we're doing that really have largely been influenced by what it is they want. And the more we go into that essence and favorite things, the more we're able to create a great life for them, almost create that bucket list from the moment there's a puppy asleep on my foot, to the very end, right? So it's this work is really, really important. Anyone else? One of the things also that, like, especially, you know, not everybody here wants to be an animal communicator, but for those that do, I will say this, that, you know, I tell this story all the time, but it's a really important story. And that is that my sister died in 1986. And I did a lot of grief counseling, a lot of energy healing. That's how I got into energy healing. But I did a lot of work. And 10 years later, I'm an animal communicator. I'm driving around in Los Angeles. And on Wednesdays, I was going to Marina del Rey, Pacific Palisades, Brentwood. That was my route. And each of those animals, I was doing energy healing on animals with brain tumors, which is how my sister died. And one day, I remember I stopped at Starbucks on the way between somebody, somewhere. And I remember thinking, wow, the amount of work I did on my guilt, my grief, my loss, any survival guilt, just feeling terrible about a little sister dying, like all of those things, I didn't leave a stone untouched, right? I picked up everything and I looked at it. I mean, I was that kid at 11 that was saying to my parents, when do we get to start family therapy? They just thought I was crazy, but in the end, yeah, it paid off. So I guess I'm just someone that likes to analyze and examine things and get to the bottom of it, which is why I've had a very successful career as an animal communicator, because it's like, boom, let's go in, get to the bottom of it. Now we're going to move into what can be possible. But I've always done that with myself as well. And so the payoff was, not 1 second did it come to my mind that, oh, I'm going to go work on this dog with a brain tumor. It's going to end like my sister did. No, in fact, Most of those animals exceeded their expiration date. One of them, the tumor shrunk. I mean, it was very miraculous. And it, again, taking the time to move through the work, had an immediate, well, I mean, a 10-year, but it had impact on me all along. And then it gave me grace in a career that I loved more than anything in the world. And there was no, oh, this is what happens with a brain tumor, right? Like nothing. It was apples and oranges, oranges, and pomegranates, right? It was nothing was related. And it just was a quick flash at a Starbucks. So that's why the value of this work is beyond what we're seeing right now as far as feeling some relief and maybe being able to connect with them. It's also far reaching in other ways you may be able to help someone else, even if you're not professionally doing it. So there, wouldn't you say, Claudia?
100%. Absolutely. We have a question from Shiloh when you're ready.
Yes.
Are the ones we call the present pet, are they asking to have special communications?
Can you translate? Wait, the one we're calling...
So I think it has to do with calling, just if you can clarify, Shiloh, maybe when we were talking about calling animals.
Oh, the other ones. So then what's the rest of the question when we're calling?
Are they asking to have special communications?
If that's what you're asking, in this situation, I would say yes. I would say that, yeah, they're here. In this situation, though, there has always been like high octane fun in my household, whether it was, and deep sadness at times, but my dad was dying and I ended up with a cat that I didn't realize was full of kittens. And I ended up with all these kittens at a time when I was so sad and going to all the appointments, and it was just going only that way. And I would have locked all the kittens in the bathroom because I had just moved into this house and it wasn't kitten proofed. And so I would open the door and there'd be toilet paper everywhere and kittens just passed out. And that was the biggest gift on the planet to me, right? Like, just how fun everything has been, every new thing. And so I feel like everybody's just showing up here for the party of a new puppy, right? It's just, we're having a celebration. But I think at other times when you find yourself going, Isabella instead of Abby, yeah, I definitely feel like there's an opportunity for...
That's what she was asking.
Yeah, that's what I figured. Clearly I went down that bunny trail. Anything else? I'm drinking out of the Missouri cup. I will be in Missouri in May. I am part of the new animal behavior degree. My curriculum from the school is now going into a college. And that's some of my big news. I'll announce more later on, but that's my little secret that I'm very excited about. Okay, so one of the things that also, are any of you in a transition now, meaning you haven't lost the animal yet, but it's close, or they're dwindling? These are the sorts of things that are also really, really, really sometimes very hard to watch, and it's often harder for us than it is for them because they're just being them. And I think that's a really important thing to recognize when we take the pressure off ourselves of I feel terrible watching this situation. Okay, what if I just feel neutral? Then we might see something new in it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Is anyone typing anything in?
Well, this is based on what you were talking about, Stevens. Christine says, woohoo. Shiloh says, congratulations. Tina Kim Becquerel says, wow, congrats. Joyce Leggett says, congratulations.
Thank you.
Claudia says, congratulations. Leslie says, amazing.
It is. I mean, when I sit with the head of the equestrian department, who's now going to be one of the chairs of the animal behavior department, it's like we're pinching ourselves because we put this into motion about 15 years ago. She wasn't even the head of the department then. She was just one of the equestrian professors, and then eventually she became the head of the department. But literally, we have been on this forever, and that just shows you how long it takes and then how fast it is, right? Like to get everything approved by the health sciences department and, just rewriting the curriculum. It's all just stuff I've been teaching for 1,000 years. For 27 years, I'll say it, and 16 years in the school. So, I mean, it is amazing that it's going into a college. It's absolutely amazing.
So we have 2 things.
Yes.
Barbara Spalding says, I have a vet appointment tomorrow to say goodbye to Layla. This is all very helpful.
Yeah, so you are in the transition stage. Very much.
Yeah. And Shiloh has a question. She says, how do we handle when one family member thinks it's time to release and the other one says not now? What do you do?
I think, that's a perfect time to get an animal communicator in. I know that vets love to say things like, well, they should, have dignity, and I think it's also hard on them. But a good animal communicator, especially one of my graduates, is going to be super neutral and really want to hear the animal, and then both parties can assess from there. But I feel like, the person who is pushing for the euthanization, I think they would have to ask themselves, how comfortable am I watching this? And the person who is saying, no, they're not ready, I think, we'd want to see how neutral they are. Is there anything they need from the situation? And for me, when an animal isn't ready and yet seems like, oh my God, what are they getting out of this? A lot of times they're getting closure that we know nothing of, right? Like they may be getting closure with their old person that they were with forever who might have died, or who had to give them up because they had to move, or, all of the things. So they may be getting closure with other animals in the household. I know that I've had animals, Isabella, the dog that keeps appearing lately, and even my horse Pegasus, both came relatively heartbroken and had, I could see them tune out and check in with their old person. And I think that's perfectly normal. So, being able to create a space for someone to finish their unfinished business is super important. So maybe the person who thinks the animal isn't ready you have a conversation with the person that's pushing for it about what unfinished business might look like. That's it.
Okay, Dave Hall says, my dog, and please excuse my pronunciation, my dog Masai has been declining. The last several months have been very tough. We used to go on long walks, we can't anymore. That's hard.
Yeah, that is heartbreaking. And it's like that. Oh, and then I guess you just keep creating the new normal, but it is hard to watch.
Nancy Bishop says, I was born in the wrong time. I've always felt. In my next life, I'm coming back as a world-famous animal communicator with doctorate in animal behavior, LOL.
Yeah, well, and they're combining, I shouldn't be talking, but they're combining with, there's a vet school next door at the University of Missouri, so just saying there's a lot going on that's just going to get bigger and better for animals. Making the world bigger and better for animals. Right, Penelope? What's that?
Part of our mission.
Yeah.
Shiloh says that it does help a lot, what you explained about the two people being on different opinions on whether to euthanize.
I just think it's hard, for some people, it's really hard to watch. And you have to just keep asking yourself, why does this hurt me so much? They're just being them. Right? I mean, how many of us have had parents that have gotten older? I mean, every day that we go on, if you still have a parent alive, they're getting older. So, there's things we watch with parents, but we're not able to offer to animals, right? We think they're suffering, but at the end of the day, toward the end there, I mean, I know some people and animals don't have any pain when they're in that state of grace. I'm not saying that others don't, but there are certain places, especially when someone is working through whatever it is they need to work through to get to that next life. It really becomes very, very, very precious and beautiful for them. And if the person who struggles with it can just view it in a different light, if both people look at it in a different light, I think, you're going to have an easier time communicating. Because I think that's also a big piece of it is like, what are you walking through that this animal is having you walk through? So yeah, there you go.
And Nancy Bishop says, always for the animals, period.
Always.
Always.
Looking at the time. Okay. I thought maybe we could do a little tapping.
You're going to love this comment.
What?
Just, wow. Shiloh says you're becoming the new Jane Goodall.
Oh, thank you. That's my dream.
I knew I had to say it.
That's, you know what, the whole animal empath journey is about, that we did in January, is all about the idea that, like, we start out as, like, Alice in Wonderland, like, how did I end up here? I just want to be with animals. And then we graduate to being Jane Goodall. So thank you. Biggest compliment yet. Okay. All right. So if we were to, for some of us, what I think we're going to tap on has happened in the past, and yet we're going to look to Yeah, just stay with me. Okay, so for those who have never tapped before, EFT tapping, you're just going to follow me. You're going to do what I'm doing, and you're going to repeat after me. And our Claudia is going to be the voice. So even if you're driving, you maybe don't have to watch because you'll be like, whoa. Or you're in a cubicle in an office and everybody's looking. But if you can, it'd be great if you could tap along. So even though it is really hard to watch,
it is really hard to watch.
it was really hard to watch.
It was really hard to watch.
It's been a long haul.
It's been a long haul.
It was so painful.
It was so painful.
And I love and accept myself.
And I love and accept myself.
Even though this deep grief isn't leaving.
Even though this deep grief isn't leaving.
And I know that they wouldn't want this for me.
And I know that they wouldn't want this for me.
And yet I'm trapped in these feelings.
And yet I'm trapped in these feelings.
I can't get away from these big feelings.
I can't get away from these big feelings.
And I feel like I can't do anything new.
And I feel like I can't do anything new.
And I love and accept myself.
And I love and accept myself.
Even though it is or it was so hard to watch each stage.
Even though it is and it was so hard to watch each stage.
I'm honoring the choices I'm making.
I'm honoring the choices I'm making.
It is so sad.
It is so sad.
It's actually just completely unfair.
It's actually just completely unfair.
Who thought it was a good idea that animals have such a short lifespan?
Who thought that it was a good idea that animals should have such a short lifespan?
It is so hard to watch.
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 That super lively being.
That super lively being.
Is dwindling or did dwindle before my very eyes.
Is dwindling or did dwindle before my eyes.
And it hurts.
And it hurts.
It hurts.
It hurts.
It makes me so sad.
It makes me so sad.
I am so sad.
I am so sad.
I quickly have to think about something else because I can't go there.
I quickly have to think about something else because I can't go there.
Because it's so sad.
Because it's so sad.
I am 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 so sad.
It makes me so sad.
It makes me so sad.
And I'm mad because there's nothing I can do.
And I'm mad because there's nothing I can do.
Deep down, I have a little anger.
Deep down, I have a little anger.
Maybe a big anger.
No, maybe a big anger.
I have anger.
I have anger.
I'm angry.
I'm angry.
And I'm frustrated.
And I'm frustrated.
Because I've tried or I'm trying everything.
Because I've tried or I'm trying everything.
I'm trying everything.
I'm trying everything.
And nothing is working.
And nothing is working.
I hate admitting we're at the end.
I hate admitting we're at the end.
I hate admitting that.
I hate admitting that.
Because I just don't have it in me to say goodbye.
Because I just don't have it in me to say goodbye.
It's just too hard.
It's just too hard.
I don't want to do it.
I don't want to do it.
I'm really sad.
I'm really sad.
And I'm so afraid I won't get out of this sadness.
And I'm so afraid I won't get out of this sadness.
I'm so afraid that this is the abyss.
I'm so afraid that this is the abyss.
That I'm just going to fall in and be sad for the rest of my life.
That I'm just going to fall in and be sad for the rest of my life.
That I'm going to suffocate in sadness.
I'm going to suffocate in sadness.
And I'm really sick of this feeling.
And I'm really sick of this feeling.
Because it's just not true.
Because it's
I can be sad.
I can be sad.
And I can laugh.
And I can laugh.
I can be sad.
I can be sad.
And I can be hungry.
And I can be hungry.
I can be sad.
I can be sad.
And I can admire a sunset.
And I can admire a sunset.
I can be sad and be a lot of other things.
I can be sad and be a lot of other things.
I am going to be okay with my sadness.
I am going to be okay with my sadness.
And I know it won't last forever.
And I know it won't last forever.
It may sit in my heart a little bit as a ping.
It may sit in my heart a little bit as a ping.
But I know my animal wouldn't want me to be sad forever.
But I know my animal wouldn't want me to be sad forever.
They would want me to find joy.
They would want me to find joy.
They would want me to find independence.
They would want me to find independence.
They would want me to be engaged.
They would want me to be engaged.
They would want me to be living life.
They would want me to be living life.
Even if I can't do it for me,
Even if I can't do it for me,
I'm going to be strong for them.
I'm going to be strong for them.
I'm going to make choices on their behalf
I'm going to make choices on their behalf
that I know I'm making with them.
that I know I'm making with them.
And I'm going to move with this.
And I'm going to move with this.
I'm going to be in every stage of my feelings.
I'm going to be in every stage of my feelings.
And I'm going to enjoy life.
And I'm going to enjoy life.
Because there's nothing else that they would want more.
Because there's nothing else that they would want more.
We enjoyed so much life together.
We enjoyed so much life together.
And I'm going to honor that.
And I'm going to honor that.
All right, and take a very deep breath. How do you feel?
You know, when your adrenaline goes up and then goes back down and your body's kind of left like limp, that's how I feel.
How about everybody else? Anyone else?
So much lighter, April Adams.
Oh, good. Good, good, good.
Christine Daigle says calmer. Shiloh says tears and release.
Good. Good. And, you know, that was big. I mean, that was big.
That was huge.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot to sit with. I think that was one of those tappings that's gonna keep unraveling, but take the lightness, right?
Leslie Williams says tears, now calm. Barbara Spalding says much more at peace. Thank you for cycling through all the feels. I'm signing up for next weekend.
Okay, good.
Tina Kim Beccarella says, I feel like I need to tap on the sad more. It'll be about a year since Benny's passing. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And you know, you are in Energy Healing for Animals now, and you do have a super groovy partner. Isn't your partner Val? She can help. She can definitely help.
Christina Cole says, you hit on so many points I've been feeling for a long time. Claudia says she feels more peaceful.
Oh, good.
Dave Hall says, that was exactly what I had been feeling. Helped to hear that.
Yeah, I mean, I remember so vividly, I had this dog, Olivia. She was always in the lead. And we would go on these pack walks, and she was always up with the other lead dog. Then she was kind of in the middle with 17 dogs and a sea of dogs. She was in the middle. And then she was next to me. and then she was behind me. And I'll never forget noting each of those stages. And, at first I was really, really sad. And then I was like, all right, come on, Olivia. We're lucky we're here. But I had to move with all the feelings before I could embrace that stage. But it was it was over a few years. I pack walked with the same pack incarnation with a dog trainer and about 17 dogs, and it was our joy every Tuesday. But it was, painful, very painful to watch those stages. And those stages obviously were an example of all the other things in life, But that was my kind of my measurement, if you will.
Nancy Bishop says she feels calmer.
Good. Good. And it's just good, we just have to, I know it's so new agey to say, oh, be kind to yourself today. But it is literally like, just breathe with these feelings, be kind to yourself. Just, you can always watch the replay if you want to tap through it again. There's tapping we did on Tuesday. There was kind of a little release and activation. Hey, you know what happened this morning? Oh my God. Okay, I had these 3 ravens. They were siblings from last year. And one injured its wing, and its wing was not quite right. And they migrate, they go somewhere, and then they come back. And I always worried that the one with the injured wing didn't make it. He was there this morning when I fed. Yeah.
I remember that one, yes.
Yeah, he's back.
Yeah. Oh my God.
I know. And he's huge. I was like, wow, dude. Anyway, that was my happy moment this morning.
So April Adams says, I saw my boy putting his little paws around my heart. And Claudia says, every walk for the last year we went through those stages.
Yeah, it's so hard. And yet, like, they're still here. So that was where okay, at least we still get to do this. Where I would get to. Oh, it makes me want to cry. I know, it's hard. Yeah. It is hard.
Tina Kim says, through all the time spent with you and others, I'm really embracing being with the emotion and having it be okay. It's been transformative.
It is okay. There's something wrong with the world where we haven't allowed it to be. But at least we're safe here. We get to be with it. We get to move through it. And, yeah. So we have more prompts, journal prompts, emails coming, big stuff in the next couple of days. And it's a 3-day weekend, so I, of course, have a project list that's this big, and about that much will get done. But I'll spend most of the time in my pajamas with a puppy and 2 other dogs and some cats, and I'm going to throw on some riding clothes tomorrow and hop on a pony. But it's a good weekend well, here in the States, it's a 3-day weekend, but either way, those of you in the UK, it's evening, it's a good time to just quiet, be with this, and then there's more journal prompts coming, and I will see you on Tuesday. So thank you everybody for joining. It's been really, again, your vulnerability, your willingness, all of it is absolutely moving and inspiring. So thank you.